Welcome to another edition of FACO Media. With the 2024 U.S. presidential election looming around the corner, it's time to take a closer look at where each candidate and vice presidential candidate stands on EVs and how their policies could shape the future of our country. Let's waste no time and dive right in. First, let's look at the only 2024 presidential candidate who has been a president before, Donald J. Trump. During his first presidential campaign, he promised to deregulate domestic production of fossil fuel to make U.S. more energy independent. He has repeatedly suggested that global warming is a hoax by China to hurt U.S. businesses. During his presidency, his administration's policies heavily favor oil and natural gas industries. This includes opening federal lands and offshore area to exploration and extraction of fossil fuel, and fast-track approval process for pipeline projects.
Our country is blessed with incredible natural resources, including abundant offshore oil and natural gas. Today, we're unleashing American energy and clearing the way for thousands and thousands of high-paying American energy jobs.
He also withdrew from Paris Agreement, a treaty among 195 nations to cut greenhouse gas.
The Paris Accord, I took us out because we were going to have to spend trillions of dollars and we were treated very unfairly.
U.S. became the only country to withdraw from the Paris Agreement. This was reversed on Biden's first day in office. He also proposed eliminating the $7,500 federal tax credit for electric vehicles, but ultimately he failed to get it passed. In his 2024 re-election bid, he promised to end Biden's pro-EV policy and EPA's emission regulation on day one.
On day one, I will terminate Crooked Joe's ridiculous electric vehicle mandate.
He called Biden administration's environmental policy the Green New Scam. However, just a few months later, his staunch stance against EV softened a little bit due to one man, Elon Musk. The CEO of Tesla not only endorsed Trump, but also pledged to donate $180 million to a pro-Trump political action committee. Trump's rhetoric changed immediately in the wake of Elon's endorsement. Instead of a completely anti-EV, Trump supports EVs being a small slice of the auto industry.
And I'm for electric cars. I have to be, because Elon endorsed me very strongly. No, I am for him. I'm for him for a small slice is a slice.
Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, also supports removing the $7,500 federal tax credit for EVs. And not only that, he wants to apply the $7,500 credit to gasoline vehicles made in the U.S. in what he called the Drive American Act. J.D. Vance haven't always been against EVs and renewable energy. In 2020, he acknowledged climate change and over-reliance on gas is a real issue.
We of course have a climate problem in our society. The reason we have that problem is because we're not generating energy much cleaner than we used to 30 or 40 years ago.
However, since 2022, he has been a critic of EVs and an advocate for fossil fuel. As the senator of Ohio, he mocked renewable energy in his home state by calling windmills ridiculously ugly and claimed they don't produce enough electricity to power a cell phone. He called EVs scams and wants to ramp up the drilling and oil extraction in his home state.
Which spent millions and billions of dollars on green energy scams. That was another couple $1 trillion. We're going to get American energy from American workers in American territory. We're going to drill, baby, drill.
According to Open Secrets, a nonprofit dedicated to reporting campaign finance data, J.D. Vance is one of the largest recipients of donation from oil and gas industry, totaling more than $350,000 as of this video. It's safe to say, despite endorsement from Elon Musk, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump wouldn't exactly accelerate the transition to EVs. So let's take a look at the other sides of the coin, or the left side of the equation.
All of us are used to filling our tank. You usually can smell it and you can hear it. You can hear the guzzling sound.
Right.
None of that.
Now we're on to the current Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, before her tenure as VP, she served as the U.S. Senator representing California and was also the state's Attorney General. In both positions, she took a staunch stance against fossil fuel.
It's about having the conviction to take these guys into court and to hold them accountable and not backing down. They can be very powerful politically, but I know that they can be taken on, and I know we can win. And as president, I will win.
She was a key figure in the Volkswagen emission scandal, where the company was found to program a device inside vehicle that would help them cheat on emission testing. She reached a settlement with VW, where the company was required to pay over $4 billion to support the investment of zero-emission vehicles and environmental programs. She also has over $50 million in settlements against other oil giants, including Chevron, BP, and Phillips 66.
On the issue of this climate crisis, I'm going to tell you, I strongly believe this is a fight against powerful interests, and leaders need to lead.
In her final days as Attorney General, Harris successfully sued Obama's administration over its plan to frack off the coastline of California.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes.
It's clear Kamala Harris has a lot of experiences going after big polluters. And the fact that she was willing to go after Obama indicate she will be more progressive than President Biden in tackling the climate crisis. And speaking of Biden, it's likely Harris will continue his policy once she takes office. This including goals to reduce greenhouse emission, increase incentives for consumers to purchase EVs, and funding for EV charging infrastructures.
I am so proud to be standing alongside Joe in this fight. One area where our vision and values are especially aligned is on climate change.
His running mate, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, is a big proponent of electric vehicles. As the governor, he pushed the state to adopt California's emission standard, which is the most strict in the nation. It will require 100% of new vehicles sold in the state to be electric by 2035. The final rule, which was signed into law in 2021, will require 20% of new cars sold in Minnesota to be electric by 2030. In order to speed up the process, Walz signed legislation that will provide more than $200 million in incentives. This including the $2,500 tax credit for purchase of new EV.
15 states that have the clean air standards, they get incentivized to have these vehicles. So where we have 6 or 8 choices, other states have 40 choices.
In 2023, Walz signed a 100% clean energy bill, which would require 100% of electricity in Minnesota to be generated by carbon-free energy source by 2040.
Whether it's the state of the atmosphere at a given time, climate is over time. So keep doing your science, keep moving forward, and Minnesota, let's go 100% carbon-free.
In order to meet this timeline, Walz focused on removing red tapes and streamline permit requirements for clean energy projects. Judging from the records of Harris and Walz, it's clear these two will accelerate the transition into EV and the push towards renewable energy, completely opposite of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. So which side are you on? Please leave a comment. Are you on the left side or are you on the right side? Do you support green energy or do you support natural gas and fossil fuel? As always, this is Faco Media. Stay fabulous and we'll see you on the next one.